16 seconds behind Lindborg of Sweden, and then Martin Hagen of Norway in third place. Jatskar actually eclipsed by 4 others now. And Martin Hagen has gone through 6,000 meters in 17:17 and is about a couple of seconds faster than Jatskar, but her similar namesake, that's Ragnhild Haga, going through there now, should be the new leader. This is coming up this big hill for the second time, but it's a very steady climb, and they're in a very smooth descent. And you can see there 15 good seconds advantage over her Norwegian, well, I was going to say teammate, but I'm not sure which squads they're actually in at the moment, those two. And an awful lot of friends and families out to see their youngsters today here in Drammen and getting ready for the World Championships. The weather forecast for next week looks quite interesting. Well, here's a local lady, Vibeke Skofterud, to start her challenge. Skofterud, who's having one of her better campaigns and will want to do pretty well here on this, which she would consider to be very much a home course. Skofterud, now 30 years of age, very experienced, and of course has represented her country at the Olympics as well as the World Championships. Britta Norgren ahead of, about 5 minutes ahead of Vibeke Skofterud. Still up the climb here, Ingemar Dottir. You can see her name on the left there, the Swede who has the best time so far up the first climb. Has she gone a little bit too quickly? Hasn't got to the stadium yet, Ingemar Dottir. Sara Lindborg of Sweden, her teammate, is the fastest, and Sara Lindborg coming up to 6,000 meters now and 18 seconds ahead of Haga. Now I can tell you that's an improvement because she was 16 seconds ahead, so that's virtually 2 seconds she's made in the last kilometer, Sara Lindborg, over Ragnhild Haga. 57 out of the gate there, that's Marta Elden for Norway. And just reflecting for a moment on the current race leader, that's Sara Lindborg from Östersund, 27 years of age, and yet really to break into the top 10 of any World Cup race, but that's a good start that she's having at the moment. Katrin Zeller now to begin her run. The Germans who place so much emphasis on doing so well at the championships, the major championships, that is, Worlds and Olympic Games. Astrid Jakobsen, a much better season for her in the top 10 of the World Cup rankings. This 24-year-old former junior and senior world sprint champion. And those successes, of course, coming back in 2007. And Astrid, who has had a couple of, well, she's had actually 3 podiums so far this year, and all over the shorter sprint distances. This is Ingvild Flugstad Ørsberg, who continued in Otterpa to continue her winning ways as a junior. This is a very promising athlete, and she's just 5 seconds behind Ingemar Dottir. As you see Chekalaeva going out for Russia, just worth reflecting, Ingvild Flugstad Ørsberg in Otterpa, or in Hinterzarten last year, gold over the 10 pursuit, silver over the 5 classic, and also the sprint silver. And in the under-23s this season, she won the gold medal in the pursuit in Otterpa. And here comes the first to start to bring her home, or bring us home and give us a finish time here. And Kjell Erik, the public address announcer, tried to get the crowd really behind each of these finishers here. They've done very well in Drummond. This is a superb organising committee, I have to say, and just over 30 minutes there. But just to think about maybe who might win this race. Here's Petra Maric. Maric, who will be tuning up also in the freestyle sprint. Incidentally, the sprint, which of course many of you will know as a classic sprint here in Drummond, well, it's a freestyle sprint this year to tune up for the World Championships, where the sprint will be in freestyle skating as opposed to classic. Nicole Fessel getting underway, and Marit Bjørgen not far from starting. Anna Haug as well now to go. This is another of the Swedes, and you can still see that Ida Ingmar Dotter has actually still got the advantage. Yatskar, but we know that there are others out there, and you can see how much time Yatskar has lost. And you just wonder for the Kazakhs. Remember, Yatskar was ahead, but has steadily lost time as Steyrer, really nice rhythm here, just coming up the hill, and she wouldn't be that far away, Steyrer. Skofterud, I've got Steyrer about 4 or 5 seconds off the pace at the moment. Skofterud, powerful athlete, but as you can see, 9 seconds off. That's still within her compass to certainly to keep accelerating as she builds the rhythm coming up this first hill, getting a lot of support from the crowd, as you would expect. They know her so well from around here, and now the language here of Ingmar Dotter tells you something. Really, you can just see the effort that's being put in here as she comes up the hill. 25.6 seconds. Now, that is a gain over Sara Lindborg of 5 seconds in the last kilometre. And she's just having a look. Puro Moranen also has lost 7 seconds to Ida Ingmar Dotter of Sweden. So that's a really good run by the Swede at the moment. And Marta Elden coming up here. Just looking at Elden. Well, I must say, Ingmar Dotter's really set them a merry dance. The penultimate starter, Marit Bjørgen. And, well, the 3 classic races that this woman has entered in the World Cup, she's won all 3 of them. The first one was in Kuusamo, beginning of the World Cup campaign. It was a 5-kilometre classic. She won that. In Davos at altitude, she won the 10-kilometre classic. That was the 11th of December. And then on the 20th of January, having missed the Tour de Ski, came back and won the Otepää 10-kilometre classic there. Justyna Kowalczyk about to start her run, as you can see Jakobsen coming up the hill now. And Justyna Kowalczyk, well, not 3 out of 3 like Marit Bjørgen, but she's competed in all 5 classic examinations in the World Cup. She's won a couple of them and been second in the other 3, so you would expect another duel between Marit Bjørgen and also Justyna Kowalczyk. And that's not bad from Čekalova, just so Ingmar Dotter, and then Fessel, and then Čekalova, and then Steyrer, and Jakobsen, and Ingvild Flugstad Østberg. All of those 5, or 6, I should say, excuse me, are covered by just 5.5 seconds. So, under 23, champion. This is the Finn, Krista Lahtimäki, very promising, 9th in the World Cup rankings. And Marta Kristoffersen. Again, for Marta, really epitomizes the challenge for a lot of these racers here, in the sense that she trying to establish herself on a regular basis with the elite squad. Only 21 years of age. Very promising junior between 2007 and 2009, but has made that move into the elite group. And as you see, the very distinctive tall figure of Petra Maric, the Olympic bronze sprint medalist, of course. Maric, who would be, of course, much more comfortable in the individual sprint if in the World Championships it was a classic sprint, but it isn't. It's a freestyle sprint. But of course, she has very good Slovenian partners for the team sprint, which will be in classic stride and glide. Maric, what, 8 seconds-ish off the lead. Anna Haag, 6 seconds off, so just puts her about top 10 at the moment. And this is Aino-Kaisa Saarinen, who had, of course, an interrupted start to the season with shoulder injury problems. But that, we were talking about that a little while ago, around about Ottopa time, and saying, I wonder whether that might play into her advantage in terms of building up towards the World Championships. And now Charlotte Kalla, who's had rather too many days off sick this season. Good to see her in action here, re-establishing herself in the Swedish national championships. This 23-year-old Olympic champion, of course, over 10 kilometers, but freestyle as opposed to today's classic stride and glide. Again, hasn't done a lot of racing this year. Runner-up right at the beginning of the season in Gällivare, and also in Oberhof in an early phase of the Tour de Ski. This is Johaug. Saarinen the quickest now, up the first climb, and that's right on the money. Right on the money there for Teresa Johaug, who surely is going to be seen to good advantage over the long distance, particularly on the last weekend of the World Championships, when it's the 30-kilometer mass start. And now back to the, or I should say up to the finish, Ragnhild Haga, who's had a pretty good run here, just coming in to take the lead away from teammate Martine Hagen, and does so quite comfortably, in fact. Mariana Longa, who's also had a couple of good sequences. Longa, who's competed in 4 of the 5 classic races and had a couple of third-place finishes. And Marit Bjørgen, only Justina Kowalczyk to come up now the climb, and it's only Justina Kowalczyk who can possibly outdo Bjørgen. Bjørgen, who had that dynamite start in November and January, then decided to skip the Tour de Ski to prepare in her way for the World Championships. Came back to Ottopa to show that, at least in the 10-kilometer classic, that the preparations were going pretty well. Bjørgen, and here comes Kowalczyk, 7.3. That's going to put her about third, and indeed it does. So it's Bjørgen, Saarinen, Kowalczyk, Johaug and Kalla. 9 seconds between the top 5 on what is a really lovely morning. And there it is, a morning where the air temperature, chilly, -7, snow, -9, so pretty straightforward in terms of ski preparation for the servicemen. And you can see the trees behind absolutely still, but Marit Bjørgen, Queen of Vancouver in the Olympics last year, is she going to take another crown at the upcoming